Good day, everyone. I strongly hope that this video finds you in good health and good mood. And I believe you are also prepared with your pen and paper or mobile or tab or computer, anything which is needed to take notes and carry on this particular slide. And this is Mohammad Nasim Fedor Shajib, and I am here with a brand new topic, and that is dealing tenses with right attitude. So it's pretty clear. I am here to talk about tenses through a grammatical point of view, and I always believe that any language cannot be understood or learned without a context. So definitely, uh, learning tenses with context would be more appropriate topic if I could post it in this slide. But still, it's fine. It's doing the work which I am intend to do. And the sources, the two sources I am using in this particular slide narration. Source number one is New Headway Third Edition Intermediate Students Book, and second one is Oxford Practice Grammar by John Eastwood. Okay, so let's see what are our contents for today's class. Today's slide narration. Yes. Okay, here are our contents. So we will start with the objectives. So what are the things we are going to learn through this slide narration and the intro? Of course, we'll be having interaction with the slides. The slides will introduce itself, and we will introduce ourselves to the slides. And tackling tenses, we will be try to learn how to tackle tenses. And of course, there will be the analysis of tenses in context. We will try to look at different contexts in order to analyze different types of tenses. And these slides will not be considered as a completed one without practice, and that is our conclusion. So that's pretty simple, I guess, but if you don't think it's simple, you know what to ask. So let's start with our objective. And if you have successfully uh, completed, I should say, successfully carried on this particular slide narration, you will be able to develop your capability of generating correct forms of tenses. Of course, we are talking about those two forms which we are going to talk about in this particular slide, and apply correct forms of tenses in different contexts. So we will be trying to apply different tenses in different contexts, and definitely we'll be trying to recollect the memories of tenses. I believe everyone here know much about tenses, and I will try to generate or regenerate or recollect the memories of the tenses. You all know about the basic things, the structures of tenses, so definitely we will be talking about those. And here I come with the introduction. Okay. Not so fast, but a glimpse. You can see the instruction, match the sentences and pictures. So there are three sentences, 1, 2, 3, and three pictures, A, B, C. And you can see the gaps just after the number of these pictures, A, and the gap, B and gap, C and gap. So what you need to do, put 1, 2, 3 in these gaps. Yes, but this is not task, this is not an activity, it's just for your kind consideration. So you can just carry on with me, or you can give it a pause and try to match it, whether you can find it correct or not. But definitely we are going to talk about these things in later slides. Okay, so here is our introduction. English is a chronological language. Chronological language means that comes one by one. That means you know about chronograph watches. So like this one, chronological language, chronology, or events and dates set in order of their happening. So in order to understand, in order to communicate in English language, we need to understand that in order to happen, in order to have the action, we need chronology or events and dates. Then we can understand the situation, the context, the daily life application of this language. And if you have different expressions, I mean, in real life you have to produce different expressions, and those expressions can be toned or can be expressed, or I can say can be changed by just simply changing the tenses. So the expressions, the difference between or among expressions can be just the changes of the tense, because tenses are just you can say that's just another name of verb forms. So there are verbs and there are the different forms of verbs, and those forms of verbs are used in different forms of tenses. So tenses and verbs, so they are very much complement each other. So that's why we need this. And then I would like to be at this one, and that is rhetorical devices. Rhetorical devices means I mean, this phrase comes with a rhetoric. Rhetoric is which is used to use language effectively. So we are talking about a device which is very much used to apply language effectively, to make a language effective. So here, without tense, we cannot do that. So that's why tenses can be used as rhetorical devices. Without tense, you cannot use English language effectively. So that's why we can say that tenses is a rhetorical device in English language. And here we are, the basic forms, types of verb tenses. And you all know this: past, present, and future. And in every type, we will find these four forms: simple, progressive or continuous; perfect, perfect progressive or continuous; simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. So those four basic forms in every type of tenses. In this slide narration, we are going to focus on the past and present mainly, because the future is just having the will and shall there, and just almost similar with the present one. So we will be focusing on present and past. I should tell you specifically that we will have more concentration, more interest on past tense, though we'll be looking at present tense, and though we'll be having practices on present tense as well. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. That's what we started before introduction. Match the sentences and pictures. So we have three pictures as we said earlier. So now let's read the sentences. When Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. When Carol arrived home, Mark was cooking dinner. When Carol arrived home, Mark had cooked dinner. So let's see the similarities and dissimilarities. Carol and arrived home, Mark dinner. Okay, and of course you can say that's the basic when. So you can see when in every in three of the sentences. Carol is there in three sentences, and arrived is there in three sentences. Home is there, Mark is there, and of course dinner is there. So the dissimilarities are cooked, yes, cooked, was cooking, and had cooked. That is what I was talking about in previous slides in introduction, that most of them are related with the verb form. So you can understand that this situation, this context are from three different angles, three different tenses. Yes, three different tenses. So we need to understand what or which happened when. So we can easily understand that the first one in this picture, the food is ready, the cooking. On the return, there is nothing about cooking, and Carol came happily. Yes, yes. I don't know the boys here whether they can cook or not, but I can, and I'm very interested to cook. Though though I have my family members who are cooking, but still. Okay, let's jump to our topic. And here you can see that as Mark is preparing for cooking dinner, so everything is there on tone, and still Carol is happy. Yes, we can see that Carol is happy also in the third picture, and there, and Mark is busy, maybe testing. All things are done. You can see that everything is just vaporing, so we can assume that the cooking is completed. So which are what? So if you would like to put the correct form, now is the time to give it a pause and make your answer. But okay, just carry on. Okay, carry on. Okay, now I think you have come back with your answers, so I will be here with the answers and the explanation, and you can also synchronize your answer with the mine, and you can understand what's the situation, what's the equation. So as I will be analyzing this, so here are the answers. Answer 1, that means picture A will go with the sentence number 3. Sentence number 3 is when Carol arrived home, Mark had cooked dinner. So if we are talking about two different actions, action number 1, Carol arrived home, action number 2, Mark had cooked dinner, but you can easily understand that Mark cooked dinner first, then Carol arrived. So if we're talking about the sequence of actions, so that means Mark had cooked dinner is the sequence number 1, then Carol arrived home, and you can see that the dinner is on the table, so that will go with the picture number A. Sentence 3, picture A, so that will be number 3. Okay, and then picture B with the sentence number 1. When Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. So now that might make you confused. That might confuse you. So I would like to have proper attention in there. So you can say that the food is there. I mean the vegetables possibly, and maybe the meats or other things are there, and Mark is yet to start. Why come we should say cook dinner? He did not even start to cook. But that is my main point. You are talking about in this present form, and we are talking about these kinds of contexts which happened before, in the past days, not today. In the past day, maybe you started, maybe last week, maybe last month, maybe last year as well. That could be, that people are not going outside, so maybe before pandemic. So if it is that, then why you're using cooked? Yes, both of the actions happened before. Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. But when we are looking at this picture, that means in that time we are for example, we are talking about yesterday Carol arrived home, and when Carol arrived home, she saw Mark was preparing the dinner, cooking the dinner. Mark didn't start, but started later and completed also. So because I believe that they are not hungry. I mean, they did not. This is nothing that they did not have their dinner. So they already had their dinner and happened before. So we are talking about two actions which happened before. So that's why we are talking this, that when Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. First Carol arrived home, then Mark started cooking, and Mark cooked. So that's the action. And picture number C goes with the sentence number 2, and that is when Carol arrived home, Mark was cooking dinner. So you can see that both of the pictures, Carol we are talking about those actions which happened before, when as Carol arrived home and entered into the house and found that Mark was cooking dinner and checking the taste, checking the salt and the other ingredients that could be. So that's the answer. So all of the things we are talking about the past forms. So do you have anything to analyze? Yes, we do. But first, I would like to show you the present form. That's the basic. And how will I show that? I will show that through two different chapters. Chapter number 1, to get happy, and chapter number 3, telling tales. Chapter number 2, getting happy, we will have the uh, the practices and exercise and analysis of present forms from chapter 2, and we will have past tenses and the practices and analysis from chapter 3. And you can see unit 2, unit 3, page 14 to 17, page 20 to 25. So we are not going all through the chapters, but the couple of pages as from the beginning. So you just carry the pages, browse these pages, read the pages carefully, and go with the task, go with the activities, and you will find these things interesting and comprehensible. Definitely, I believe that. Okay, so now we would like to tackle tenses. Yes, we would like to tackle tenses because this is one of the important grammatical aspects in English language. So first we will look about the present form. Yes, sorry, this is present form. We already know that we have 4 different forms, but here we are talking about only 3 because perfect continuous is just a mixture of continuous and perfect. So in present simple, we have thoughts, feelings, statements, facts, and repeated actions. So for those things, we just use present simple. I definitely believe that you all know the definitions. Yes, the definitions and the structures of present simple, present continuous, present form. You all know the definitions in there, so I am not going to bring that again. I am not that hammering things as in your mind, but definitely I believe these things will enable you memories about those knowledge. I am not against of those knowledge. I strongly believe that those things will help you to understand, but I have this different opinion that besides grammar and grammatical forms and grammatical items to remember, you need to go with the context, because languages are not for your exams. Languages are for your communications in real life. So you need to take this language from your textbook, from your lesson, from your study, from your classroom, from your video, from your lecture to the real world. And that's what I am doing here. So here are your reminders: thoughts, feelings, statements, facts, repeated actions. You can find numerous examples, sentences of this is present simple in your textbook. So definitely you can go with the textbook number 2. The present continuous, middle of an action. So if you are in the middle of action, that is the time you should use present continuous form. And the present perfect tells about the past and the present. So we are talking about the past and the present through present perfect tense. So we are saying that the thing just happened, it is completed, but still we can sense it. So that's why we can rephrase it as past and the present. Tells about the past and the present. And one important tip to remember during using while we will be using present perfect tense, we cannot include the time of action. We cannot do that. We cannot do that during our use in past perfect in present perfect form. So though it is an example of past tense, but still you can say that you started, is a time of action. When you are referring time of action, maybe 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or tomorrow, so that is it may be today time of action. So you can do that when you are specifying and specifying that time of action, and that is happening in the present form, simple present form. But you cannot do that in the perfect form. You cannot do that. That will be considered as incorrect. He has gone for tuition yesterday is incorrect sentence. You cannot use has gone with study. He has gone for tuition. That is fine. He has gone for the tuition. That's fine. You cannot say study. Even you cannot say for today as well. You cannot say 7 p.m., 8 p.m. You cannot give any time of action here. Okay, so definitely in unit 2 you will find this particular text in there. The title is I don't know if I'm happy, and that is a statement stated by Sidney Fisk, who is 45 years old. So let's read it. Work. Sidney Fisk is a lawyer. He is paid very well, but he has paid very well, but he usually has to work long hours. He works for an international company in Dallas, Texas, so he travels a lot in his job. At the moment, he's working in Mexico, and next week he is traveling to France. So we can understand that Sidney Fisk is very busy with his work life. What about his home life? Sidney is married and he has got 2 children, aged 11 and 14. He rarely sees his children because so much of his time is spent away from home. He has got a beautiful house in a suburb of Dallas. It's very big with 8 bedrooms. His wife is an interior designer. Wow. Free time. So is there any free time? I don't think so. Let's read. If he is at home at the weekend, he and his wife sometimes play golf, but that does not happen very often. as you all could understand, they never have much time to relax together. You know that he is very much busy with traveling with his work. So the final question, is he happy? He says he does not know if he is happy. He is too busy to think about it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so are you willing for a job to travel a lot, which gives you or pays you a lot, but still you do not have enough time to spare for your family members? I know many of you might thought that for your wife. Okay, so here is a task for you. Find the present forms. Just underline the present forms, or you can just make a list on your copies and the khatas or anything. You can do that. Find the present forms. So and try to find the context of where it has been used. Okay, so now it's the time to go to the next section. Okay, now we have moved from present to past. In general, we usually move from past to present, but here we are moving from present to past. Okay, so these are the basic things about past tense. We know about past simple, we know about past continuous, we know about past perfect, and past simple has to be used in English for completed actions. In one sense, I should tell you, all of you, that all the actions in past form are completed. Yes, by any means they are complete. There is nothing remaining in the. Yes, all of those things, complete actions. But in general, complete actions are referred as past simple, and a specific past time is referred in past simple, not in past perfect. That is what I said in the previous slide. Yes, during tackling present tense. Yes, whenever we have the specific time, Yes, when you have a specific time, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., tomorrow we started, last night, last year. So whenever we have a specific past time, we have to refer that to past simple, not past perfect, not past perfect. Yes. And in past continuous, the progressive is used an action which was progressive in the past, which was happening in the past form, in the previous time, which is not present. So happened before, started before, and was progressing before, and of course it completed in the past as well. But we are referring specifically of that moment when that action was progressing. That is what is past continuous or past progressive. And the past perfect form gives user the ability to talk about a past action. So talk about a past action and that was ongoing, that means that started in the past and continued in the past and completed before another past action occurred. So we are talking about two actions, action 1 and action 2. So you know that many things cannot be start and finish simultaneously. So maybe one thing started, then another thing started and completed. So we are talking about action 1 and action 2. So we are saying that action 1, which happened before the past action, is referred as past perfect, and action 2 is referred as past simple. So that's simple as it is. Okay, I believe you. You are saying that it is not simple. Okay, but it's my duty to make it a simple one. Let's see. Okay. uh, yes, you'll come that this is simple. This is simple. Don't think it is complex. This is simple. When I got home, I found that someone had broken into my apartment and had stolen my mobile. So I called the police. Okay. Okay, I'm giving you some time to read this sentence again. Just read it. Done. Okay, now you are saying that this is I was saying that this is pretty simple. No, no, how can it be simple when someone broke your apartment and stole your mobile? If it was my case, may Allah never make this happen. I'd be terrified, I'd be disappointed, I would be so angry because I love my mobile. It is my favorite. So definitely it would be a complex situation and you would be high tempered. But if we just consider it as a sentence, as one of the sentences in English language, how will we analyze that? So here is a graph for you. Consider you are here in the present moment and all the things happened in the past. Yes, you got home, you found someone had broken, had stolen, and you called the police. Everything. So if we consider these actions, 1 2 3 4 5 actions, so first we need to you need to identify which happened first. Yes, we can say that someone had broken into my apartment. That happened at the very first. Yes, this is the fastest one. Yes, so first someone had broken the apartment and then that person stole your mobile. Then you got home, that means you arrived or reached home and found is just just an expression. I mean that, and so going and reaching there and found there is just a similar thing. And then you called the police. So now I would like to section it as a sequence. The sequence is there, and we are talking about actions, so we are talking about two actions. Action number one, someone, maybe a thief, maybe a thief had broken into your apartment and had stolen your mobile. That is action number one. And action number two, you got home and found that terrible incident. This is the sequential events or actions, and then you call the police. Now the interesting thing is that you are discussing or gossiping or talking about those terrible events in this present moment, maybe with me, maybe with your friend or colleague, neighbor or relatives. So you are in this here present flow. So everything happened in the past. So what you did in the past night, in the last night, or maybe last day when you found that. So we are talking about the actions. We are talking about actions which happened comparatively earlier, and those earlier actions are referred as the past perfect form. And the next one, the next ones could be referred as past simple. Yes, that's simple. So that's how you should break the sentences and identify and analyze about the sentences. Okay, now here we are with a story. I know now you have all these things in your mind, so your brain is full of your recollection of memories about your tense. So you can just pause it here and get a 5 minutes relaxed time and come back because I'm ready with a story. I hope you have come back, and I have a story, and the name of the story is The Tale of Gluskap and the Baby. Gluskap and the Baby, you can have some background knowledge about Gluskap and the Baby in Unit 3, in the very first page of Unit 3, but do not go there. No, do not go there now, not now. Do not go there. Just enjoy the story first, then you will have time to go to the text and identify what is Gluskap or who is Gluskap and what is the baby and why is the tale. Telling tales. But I would love to hear any of your tales, which is interesting, which is inspiring. So if you have any, you know what to put, you know what to write. I'll be there. So let's start with reading. Gluskap, the warrior, was very pleased with himself because he had fought and won so many battles. He boasted to a woman, "Nobody can beat me." "Really?" said the woman. "I know someone who can beat you. His name is Oasis." Gluskap had never heard of Oasis. He immediately wanted to meet him and fight him, so he was taken to the woman's village. The woman pointed to a baby who was sitting and sucking a piece of sugar on the floor of a teepee. Okay, these two passages are the first sections of the story. So here we are talking about Gluskap. So during the reading, you have to take all the informations which are referred in a written text. Then you can understand and comprehend the text. Gluskap the warrior was very pleased. So you can understand that Gluskap is a warrior, and he was pleased. When a warrior becomes happy, when he himself had fought and won so many battles, not only about the fighting but also winning them makes a warrior happy and pleased. He boasted to a woman, "Nobody can beat me. Nobody can beat me." This is the sentence. This is expression about arrogance. This is expression about pride and proud. So definitely you can guess the meaning of boasted. You know that you are here to learn a language, and whenever you find a chance to learn anything about a language, I believe and I recommend you to grab it at that very moment. Yes. So during having knowledge on grammar, if you find and something to develop your comprehension, please take it. Okay. So then what happened, and that is that woman and took Gluskap to that village where the woman pointed to a baby. Pointed to a baby was so small, so little that that boy was sitting and sucking a piece of sugar on the floor of a teepee. This later. Okay, let's see what happened there. Next, what happened next? Okay, there she said, that is Oasis. He is little, but is very strong. Gluskap laughed and went up to the baby. I am Gluskap, fight me, he shouted. Little Oasis looked at him for a moment, then he opened his mouth. Wah, wah, he screamed. Gluskap had never heard such a terrible noise. He danced a war dance and sang some war songs. Oasis screamed louder, wah, wah, wah. Gluskap covered his ears and ran out of the teepee. After he had run a few miles, he stopped and listened. The baby was still screaming. Gluskap the fearless was terrified. He ran on and was never seen again in the woman's village. Oh, um, I don't know, but I think it's pretty funny. But definitely, you can have some models of the story. Models from this story is that is you cannot underestimate anyone. Maybe the baby is so loud with the sound that this warrior who had won many battles, fought many battles, still could not bear this one. And the things happened that he ran few miles, still he could listen, he could hear those terrible screaming from the baby. So that made him terrified. So I think that is interesting, but the interesting story is not our point. By this time you can understand that, because we have something more important than this, and that is the language used in this particular tale. And you can easily understand that all the things, all the actions I was referring, I was narrating happened in a past moment, in a moment which happened before. The actions started and ended, and before there is nothing remaining in this present form. So we are talking about this. You can see lots of glamour. Yeah, so lots of glamour, lots of highlight in there, that this pinkish light, you can find that then those are highlighted as the verbs. If you have found anything in the past form excluding this one which I have marked in here, definitely please let me know. But here lots of the four tenses you can find, and all of them are from the past forms. Yes, let's have the glow. Yes, I have made this one for the glowing effect. Was pleased, that's one action. Had fought, another action. Had fought and own, there is a conjunction there, but still it connects two verbs. Had fought, had own. No, sorry, I'm still sorry. Had fought is the first action and own is the second action. That means the warrior fought first and then own the sequence. He boasted, past form, said, had heard, wanted, was taken, pointed, was sitting and sucking. So here through end we are referring was sitting and sucking at the same what the boy was doing. There she said, loved, went, shouted, looked, opened, screamed, had heard, danced, sang, screamed, covered, ran, had run, stopped, listened, was screaming, was terrified, ran, was seen. So these are the verbs, and I can tell you that you all know about strong weak verbs. You all know that regular irregular verbs, and we can say that there are lots of regular irregular verbs in there. Wanted, pointed, boasted, heard, opened, danced, shouted, screamed, looked, loved, screamed, covered, stopped, terrified, opened. These are our um, regular verbs, but we have some irregular ones. Is there any irregular verbs? So yes, had run, ran, that could be another one. Seen, irregular verbs, we cannot use ed, so those are run, yes, you can run. So these are the irregular verbs. So run, regular and irregular, so you need to have proper idea about regular and irregular verbs in order to make it a change. So whenever you will be producing these things, you need to understand this one. So whenever, I believe that if you have this kind of knowledge in your mind, then definitely you can have this one. I mean, you will be developing lots of verbs and lots of the tenses. Those will be helping. Okay, here we come with the activity. Yes, we come here with the activity. Pretend that you are a businessman dealing a business deal that just took place. Yes, you are a businessman, you have come here, you just completed a business deal, and you are here to have this class. So now the activity is that you are to come up with a report of that business deal using 8 present perfect tenses in your report. So in that report, you need to produce 8 present perfect tense in there, and I should tell you that that report should not long less than 25 sentences and more than 30 sentences. So your volume will be in this numbers, 25 to 30 sentences. So write 25 to 30 sentences. Okay, let reduce you the volume. Okay, produce it within 20 to 25 sentences. Okay, 20 to 25 sentences, and in those 20 to 25 sentences you have to have use 8 present perfect tense in there, and that's the activity. Okay, you can do it now by pausing here and carry on, or you can do it later. It's up to you. Don't hurry, don't rush. Okay, now we have another practice. I have given you lots of information, lots of knowledge in there, but let's see whether you can do it or not. Rakib loves trains. He first see a train when he was 5 years old, and he be absolutely fascinated. He go to a different train station every week and write down the engine number of every train he sees. He do this since he was 7. By the time he left school, he collected over 5,000 different engine numbers from all over the world. Okay, okay, okay. I know some people who are who do this for airplane. What the number? Yes, what the number? But I had not heard about hear about. Yeah, I had not heard about this train. So that's interesting. And what you have to do, you have to put the right forms there, right forms of C. The forms of C are see, saw, seen, have seen, has seen, had seen. So you have to put the right form. So these are the forms. So I would like to suggest or recommend you to give it a pause and try to write the answers and then come back, because I will be showing the answers now and analyze. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here are the answers. Rakib loves trains. He first saw a train when he was 5 years old. So let's start with the first sentence. Rakib loves trains is a general present form. In a general sense, the sentence stated. He first see a train when he was 5 years old. So I am referring, or we are referring, action which happened long before. Was 5 years old, was. So that means we have to produce it in the past form. He first saw a train when he was 5 years old, and he was absolutely fascinated. B was absolutely fascinated. He goes to a different train station every week and writes down the engine number of every train he sees. Okay, so we are talking about a present action. What he usually does, he usually goes to a different train station every week and write down the engine number of every train he sees. So that's what he does. As this action is in an usual mode, so that's why we are using the present form goes and writes as well. Goes and writes. He do this since he was 7. So we are talking about action, and when he was 7, that means he's still doing that in the present form, you know that, and started before. So we are talking about an action which started in the past but is still running. So that is why we have written he has been doing this since he was 7. By the time he left school, he had collected over 5,000 different engine numbers from all over the world. So we have two actions, and so Rakib left school and Rakib had collected. So before leaving school, he had collected over 5,000 different engine numbers. So that's why we are saying that two sequencing actions, and one action and happened a little bit earlier comparing to the next action. The next action is left school, and the first action is had collected. So he first collected over 5,000 different engine numbers, and then he left the school. So that's why he had collected in the past perfect form, and he left in the past simple form. So that's simple. I believe you have made everything correctly. Thank you very much. Okay, you need more practice. Yes, you need more practice, and you have lots of units in your textbook 2 and textbook 1. For individual question exercises, I would like to recommend you go to textbook 2. That means Oxford Practice Grammar. You will find lots of the things there. But for the contextual exercises, do not forget to browse textbook 1. There's some chapters in there, possibly chapter 7 or 8, I could not remember now, but definitely you will be browsing and find those things. Yes, those are the practice. You need to do this, because self-learners are the best learners. I am here to guide you, but it is your responsibility to just browse and to learn. Yes, for lifelong. Questions. Yes, I think you should have questions, because I believe if you concentrate closely, then you can have more questions. If you don't, then you might not, and you know what to raise those questions. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here for almost like 1 hour. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Do not hesitate to write, comment, query, anything if you don't understand. But I would also recommend you to listen very closely, maybe twice, maybe thrice. This will help you, not for these slides, not for this topic, but the topics yet to come. Thank you very much.